Hi there, Visionary family, and welcome back to another one with Lady Visionary. Hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. If you're new to my channel, make sure you consider subscribing. And if you're an old or a new subscriber, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Today, it's a very hot topic. The diaspora, they're making a big mistake. And many of you may be wondering, what is that mistake? Wait, hold on, it is coming because it's something that I feel we need to speak about, and we this needs to be considered before relocating to the continent. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Lady Visionary on YouTube. I relocated from the UK to Rwanda several years ago with my husband and children. I'm a Jamaican born, but obviously African. But my husband is actually a Rwandan himself. But many people think that I relocated to Rwanda because my husband is Rwandan, and actually, that was not the case. I relocated to Rwanda because I felt, or I believe that it aligns with my purpose and my vision. And with Rwanda being such a visionary country, and a lot of people would say, yes, Rwanda is amazing, but yes, still there are lots of improvements that need to happen. But we cannot just rely on government. We have to think about what part can we play to facilitate development. One person cannot build an island, or what they say, Rome was not built in a day. So definitely, it requires collective efforts in order to improve a place. So welcome, welcome, welcome. As you all come in, please let me know where you're listening in from. Please make sure you smash the like button. This conversation is very much necessary. I feel like the diaspora are making a big mistake, and they are basically blaming YouTubers like myself for not giving a true picture of what we are advertising. And I've said this on my channel numerous times that when you're thinking about relocating to any country on the continent, like anywhere else, making the decision to move, even within a country, across states, if you're in the US, it's a very it can be a very challenging one. And making a decision to move to the continent can be also very challenging. We have issues around the context, the cultural differences, the language barriers, how you're going to relate, understanding the business arena, understanding the differences, where you're coming from, and whether you can apply those principles to that particular country where you're moving to. So there's so much that needs um, to be considered. And I know and I've said this on my channel numerous times, um, Africa should not be glamorized. And I think, yes, you see on YouTube, it is being glamorized. But then for us, who are saying that we're clever enough, and we demonstrating a level of education and understanding, well, we have to delve deeper. It means that you go beyond what you see on YouTube. You go and do your own research. If you're definitely certain you want to relocate to a country, then you're going to come to visit. You're going to build connections. You're going to delve deeper to find out exactly what you need to find out, because it is a big decision of relocating your life from one country that you've known all your life to another country. And what may seem simple, by just watching a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video on YouTube, in the reality, when you're on the ground, you may find that is not the case. You don't know about a person's circumstances, about how they've been able to finance their business, how they've been able to live in that country. You haven't perhaps made the effort to find out. You haven't made the effort to build connections. You know, you're coming with the wrong attitude. You're not open, right? And I'd say this, I really think it's unfair for those of you who are watching out there, who are watching YouTube and seeing all these different YouTubers who are traveling to different countries and showcasing the beauty. Because remember, like, it is still an issue for Africans to travel, freely. What Amaya has talked about numerous times, some of the challenges that, he has faced and others have faced trying to travel across the continent. And for these young content creators, they're excited about traveling. They do that for a job. They just want to showcase Africa in the best light. So they're giving you the best, and they want to see the best of the continent. And so that's what, perhaps you're seeing, but definitely people are sharing some of the negative aspects as well. But again, I'm coming back and I'm saying to you that if you are serious about relocating, you need to take responsibility. You cannot just go off one or two or a couple of YouTube videos that you've watched online. Your circumstances may be different to somebody else's. Your financial situation may be different to someone else's. You don't know what support that person may be getting in order to survive here on the continent. And let me tell you this, relocating is not easy. I've been in Rwanda for several years. I have started my business. For those of you who know or don't know, I started a glamp site at Lake Burera in Rwanda. I started from the ground up, right? There has to be passion, there has to be commitment, there has to be drive, has to be a level of openness that you have to have coming in. You have to have the right attitude. You have to know that this is a developing country. You must also understand that the pace that you're used to in the West and the Americas, it's going to be different. And I've said this on my channel several times. If you do not have patience, then Africa is really not the place for you. I'm just being open and honest, because there will be things that frustrate you, like having to wait lengthy periods of time. For example, if something is supposed to take 1 month, maybe it's going to take 2 or 3 months. So you need to be able to exercise patience. You need to take ownership of your move. Don't blame it on someone else. Think about, why is it that I'm moving to the Gambia? Why is it I'm moving to Ghana? What is my purpose of moving to Rwanda? What is it that I want to do? What type of fulfillment am I looking for? These are critical, key questions that you need to ask yourself. Are you connecting with the right people? Or are you connecting with the wrong people who have the wrong attitude? Because some of the diasporans coming to the continent, they have the wrong attitude and they are not ready for such a big move. So what you're going to see is many people who are start to complain and give perhaps skewed information, because that's based upon their experience of not doing their due diligence, which is coming to visit, building connections, being open-minded, not just jumping at the first go, taking your time, being patient, critically analyzing the situation, knowing whether it is your time to move, and not just moving because others are doing it. We need to take ownership and not be blaming others, right? Many of us who are coming, the diaspora who are coming, right? You're moving off impulse and excitement, which is amazing, right? The excitement about wanting to connect with the motherland and your roots and your ancestors. I get it. I've been there as well. But going even further than that as well, what do you want to achieve being on the continent? You have to be clear about that. You have to write it down, because there's times when we get distracted by A, B, C, D. But if you've written it down, you can always go back to what it is that you've written down. Why am I moving to Africa? What is it that I want to achieve? What is it that I want to do while I'm here? Right? Do I want to set up a business? That's another thing. And do I have business experience? That's another thing. There are so many courses online now where you can take some courses to help you gain some knowledge and insight further into the area that you're thinking to invest in. So that is going to be a big thing, because most businesses, and this is around the world, and these are in the West, in the Americas, most businesses within the first 2-3 years, they collapse, they go under, right? So now think about Africa, which may have less resources in the context of what we're talking about. You have to put in even extra work. It means that you cannot play around with your future. You cannot play around with your life. You have to make a calculated move. Some people are not willing to invest in a proper business plan, right? You're not willing to invest in a business plan. You don't know the complete environment which you're wanting to invest in. You saying, oh, well, I have a bit of money, I think I want to do this. You see others who are doing it. Just because others are doing it, they've just started, you're copying that. You're saying, well, I see people going to their establishment, I think people will come to mine. But you haven't done your research. You haven't put together a solid business plan through and through. You are copying another person that you've seen online. You haven't built connections. You don't know about the environment in terms of, look, get like here in for example, Rwanda, and they're really working on building up the youth. And across Africa, it is a problem of huge unemployment rates, really massive unemployment rates amongst the youths, right? So you will find that it is extremely challenging sometimes to get the right people to do the job that you want to do. Because here in Africa, you have a lot of people who are unskilled, who do labor work. But when it comes to the more highly skilled positions, that can be challenging and also motivating the staff. I'm talking from like experience. And I want to go back, because you've got to understand that those YouTubers that are showing the country, there's a difference in showing the country and showing like a 10-minute video of someone who has made it in a particular country, who have actually invested time, energy, effort over the last 10 years. Notice that a lot of those people who have run successful businesses, they did not do that overnight. If you go back and if you speak to them, you will know that they've been in that country 5, 10, and even 15 years to get where they are. But you've watched a 15-minute clip and said, so and so is successful, I'm going to sell my house in the Americas and I'm going to come to Africa, right? You don't know what challenges, because they haven't given you in detail through their business plan what challenges they have encountered along the way. And here you are thinking that, you relocating is just going to be a bed of roses. You've never lived anywhere else apart from the Americas or Europe. Now you've arrived in Africa. You're finding that there is a challenge around connection. There's a challenge around the language barrier. There's a challenge around the fact that you don't have enough business knowledge. There's a challenge around the fact that you have not put together a solid business plan. So you don't know the context in which you are trying to apply your business. And slowly by slowly, you find that everything is starting to crumble, and you're stressed, and there's anxiety, and you're thinking, well, oh, maybe I made the wrong move, or maybe this is not the right country for me. But even if you move from one country to another and you still haven't applied those principles, guess what? You'll find yourself in trouble in the place that you're going. And that's why I say that I think that the diasporans, they're making a very big mistake by just upping and moving without doing your due diligence, without researching through and through, just watching YouTube videos, without coming to the continent or coming to the country to speak to the relevant people that's going to help you to be successful along your journey, connecting with the wrong people, engaging in the wrong activities, wasting your time with time wasters, wasting your time with people who don't have the right attitude when it comes to the continent, wasting your time with people who haven't done their research, who haven't done their business plan, and are giving you a skewed view about a particular place based upon their inadequacies, right? So I'm appealing, and I've come on here just to say to the diaspora, please, please, please take ownership, take responsibility for your choices. We're adults. I think we're all on my channel regarding the statistics, you know, we're all adults. So you have to take ownership. You don't have to blame anyone for the decisions that you have made. And I'm telling you, if you haven't heard it anywhere else, relocating is not a bed of roses. It is hard. It can be very hard. It can be very frustrating. You know, it can be very exhausting, but it can be very rewarding. But you have to ensure that these things that I've spoken about, these critical points that I've made in this live, that you go away and look at them in detail, right? As I said, just because you see someone else doing it, it doesn't mean it's for you. It doesn't mean it's your time. Your time may be at some point, but it may not be now. Listen, people think, let me just talk about, for example, Rwanda, right? You can, like, for example, Kigali is I think, getting increasingly expensive. And for me, I've relocated to Musanze because the cost of living, my projects, my level of finance, my budget, I'm able to live comfortably in Musanze, where I think, like in Kigali, trying to do everything would have been a struggle for me. So you have to look at different areas. Is Kigali for me? What other areas? What is my budget like? What is the overall realistic living expenses of living, for example? Because all the diaspora, all of you are going to Kigali, you know, like there's just like a handful of us, if that, in, for example, Musanze. Some are moving to sort of near Mata, Bogosera, near the new airport. Look at your finances before, put it in a spreadsheet, document things. Okay, this is how much money I have, this is what I have to budget for, you know, and trying your best to stick to that budget, because again, when the financial pressures start to reach you, then you become quite stressed and unfocused, and then thinking, why did I move? What have I done? You know, you've made an erratic decision that's not based on your personal circumstances, and you've just based that off the fact that you've seen a couple of videos on YouTube, you've seen others who are here, and probably not everyone is going to share their personal experience, as in the challenges that they are facing. But I can tell you this now, and I can tell you this for free, that there are challenges here that the diasporans are facing, and that comes along with relocating anywhere, right? And then I say, and I've said in my videos previously, here in Rwanda, you know, the language barrier. So here, the main language here is Kinyarwanda. So you will come across many people who speak Kinyarwanda. So that can even frustrate you when you don't understand the language, you're trying to learn the language. Again, have you prepared yourself for that barrier? Because for you, it can be quite significant. In that case, if you know, I'm definitely sure I want to relocate to Rwanda, you need to start learning the language, right? You need to start learning the language, because when you're not learning the language, you're going to be a bit paranoid. Oh, are they talking about me? Or, you know, and all of that. Learn the language as much as you can. Be open, be free to know that you may not understand everything, but eventually you will get there. But don't blame your move, or don't say that, YouTubers are giving a false representation. You have to take responsibility. You have to take ownership. You have to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly with regards to whichever country you would like to relocate to. Know that it's not going to be easy. Know that some of the YouTubers and stories that you have seen, they may have been in that country for even 5 or 10 years before reaching a level of success. I can talk about my own situation, coming into Rwanda with my family, buying land, which has been challenging, talking to government about things that they can do to facilitate my business. And, my business is also orientated around supporting Rwandan people, supporting my community. We run a lot of projects to support the community and uplift the community. So my point is, you need to really get to work. Really get to work. Don't get tired. Know what you're doing, because it can be rewarding. So going back, as I said, we relocated, we started our business, we started our hotel. It has been bumps in the road, bumps in the road, bumps in the road, but we have kept on going. Has there been times where I felt like giving up? Hell yes. Has there been times I felt like giving up? Hell to the yes. But I'm so committed to learning, to developing, to growing, to not giving up, right? Because I know what I started. I'm living here. I've moved here on purpose. So I continue to break down the barriers every day. I can continue to knock on doors. I continue to reach my goals. I continue to fall and get back up again. And I look at this and I say, look, the struggles that we're going through as diasporans, and some people say we shouldn't be going through that struggles, but I also think back. I think back and I look at our ancestors, what they endured in the time of slavery. And many of us, when we go through a little trial and tribulation, we start throwing blame. We start, we start throwing blame. We start to give up. We start to run away. Where is your strength from the ancestors? I'm asking the diaspora. Where is your strength from the ancestors? Because you cannot just give up just at the first hurdle. But then again, you have to know what you are doing. You have to know what, you have to basically know what you're getting yourself into. Be ready to take the bull by the horn and say, well, I know this is going to be challenging, but I'm willing to put in the work to be successful with this move. Because others have done it, so that means it can be done. Others have done it, so it means it can be done. But again, coming back to a critical point, people come, they just land on the ground. Yes, land on the ground. Come and visit, have a feel. I say to people, come, spend 1 month, spend 2 months, spend 3 months. If you have the availability to do so, or the capacity to do so, come and spend even 6 months before you make any decision about relocating, doing business in the country, or with anyone, or even parting with your money, buying land, and so on and so forth. Take your time. Don't be superficial. Delve deep, because the deep stuff that you missed will get you into a lot of trouble in the end, right? Let me say that again. The deep things that you have missed because you've just skimmed the surface are the things that will trip you up in the end, and you will land on your face and you will start to point blame. right? So delve deeper. Come connect with your community, because here in Rwanda, for example, there is a structure and how you can get involved with your community to really understand how the society works here in Rwanda. Get connected, find out information, go to, for example, if you are thinking about doing business, RDB in Kigali has a one-stop center. You can get all the information, but don't just stop there. Go deeper. Go and speak to other business owners within the area that you are that you wanting to go into, right? Find out from other business establishments what have been some of the highs and what has been some of the lows. What is your competition? What is the likelihood that people would want your product or services? What business solutions, or should I say, what problems have you found, for example, in Rwanda that you can provide business solutions for? What support can you get to make sure that your business um, continues to strive to always, it is the work that you need to put in. And let me tell you something, if you're not willing to put in anything, don't expect to get anything out of it. If you're not willing to do a very detailed business plan, understanding the context of this particular environment, how business works, the capacity that you have to in order to deliver that business successfully. Would it be you, a sole person, delivering that business? Will you be recruiting others? Do those people have the skills in order to deliver at the level that you need? And if they don't, are you willing to provide a training in order to upskill them? Because young people, if you're thinking about employing young people in Africa, they need to be upskilled. They need to be supervised, right? So you need to know what you're getting into. You need to take responsibility. So I'm going to give this opportunity for anybody who's listening in to ask any questions. But I just wanted to come on here. I'm not on here for very long. It was just on my heart, and I felt like I wanted to get it off my chest. I wanted to be transparent with you all, right? And so I've already done that. I've gotten it off my chest, and I'm giving anybody an opportunity to ask any questions in the comment section. But I'll go ahead and greet those of you who are in and have commented in the chat. ATM Tim has said good morning. Hello to you as well. Good morning. It's afternoon here. It is 1:45 here in Rwanda. Is it Afril Leak is saying greetings to you as well. HDK is saying, I live in Bogosera. I totally understand, but I have never liked living in cities, even in the US. Yes, so even for me, I love Kigali. Kigali is a beautiful city. We love it. But for me, I did not want to live in a city as well. I wanted to live outside a city. I wanted to do my work more towards the rural areas. And that is exactly what I'm doing. And I'm getting greater fulfillment from doing that. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section. I would really appreciate that. If anybody who is listening out there who would like any business consultation, you're wanting to have a detailed business plan done, then that's something I can help you with. If you want to find out critical information about relocating and doing business in Rwanda, then you also can email me. All the details will be down below in the description bar, so you can go ahead and send me an email and we can set up your consultation. Anyone who is out there listening and thinking about relocating to Rwanda or doing business in Rwanda, and you want to come and spend some time in Rwanda just to have a feel of the country and just suss out whether Rwanda would be the right place for you, I do have an opportunity for volunteers at my hotel. We have several projects that we're running for the community, trying to develop the young women and the young people in Burera district. So if you think that you have skills and experience that can be valuable for any of the work that I do, for example, with the library or empowering women, you will have free accommodation for up to 3 months. So do send me your CV, and let's also have a chat and make that happen. So you can send me your CV via email, and again, the details will be down below in the description bar as well. So again, giving anyone an opportunity to ask a question. But if you don't have a question, I will be signing out. So thank you guys ever so much for listening in. I have said that for 2024, I really do want to bring you more content, hopefully meaningful content. You also have the opportunity to send me an email or in the comment section, give some recommendations of videos that you would like to see on my channel, because I want to be able to hear from you and give you more of the content that you would like to see here on my channel. Again, if you're listening out there and you want to support the work that I do, every time I'm live, you can also send in a super chat, or all the details will also be down below in the description bar of how you can support and the different ways that you can support. So thank you guys ever so much, and I hope that was useful, and I really hope that you will take that on board and also share it with others. Thank you so much, and have a good day wherever you are.